Welcome to another lovely session of What Clients Say. And I'm really excited today because I have my client with me, Yvonne, Yvonne White Miller, and she's going to be sharing her journey, her story, and inspiring those of you out there to transform your lives, to seek that support that you need to be able to make progress where you felt that you haven't made progress, or you felt that the journey has been difficult and you've been doing it on your own. How I met Yvonne, we'll talk about it. So let me first of all get Yvonne to say hi to you guys. Hello, Yvonne.
Hi everyone. It's great to be here. Thanks for
So,
having me.
and we've been on a journey together. So I met Yvonne many, many years ago, and we've known each other for quite a few years. But I think she's just been a bit of a distance and watched what I was up to, what I was doing. And then the first contact we had and moved closer was when she attended I did a 5-day thing in 2022 where I just shared a journey of an introverted woman, more of a spiritual journey and some of the tools. And I think that inspired her. And then she became one of the first people to join my cohort of Harness Your Strengths for Business Success. And from then we moved on to working on one-to-one. And, we are on that journey together where she is establishing herself in her role and what she's doing. So she'll be the next person now to tell you a lot about that journey. And I'm looking forward to actually listening from this side of the table and just getting her to share. But also, hopefully, those who be listening, there'll be some of you that will see her as your ideal coach, as the person who can guide you on your journey when you hear her story. So I'm hoping that that's also going to be the case. So welcome again, Yvonne. I'm so excited for us to have this conversation.
Well, thank you again for inviting me. I'm very excited to be here. And like Patience said, I met her many years ago. Actually, we were on the John Maxwell team
Mm,
together, and that's when I first met her. And after a few years, I noticed her introvert, female material and conference and how she was helping introverted women, which I happen to be. And I thought, I need to be a part of that. And I watched her grow and blossom.
mm,
And I thought I need to be working with her. And so that's when I made the decision to take the course again with introverted women in business. It was excellent. I learned a lot and knew I needed more of what she was doing. And so I did end up with her coaching one to one. My career is I'm a nurse by trade, been a nurse for over 30 years. I'm also a mom and a grandmother. In my nursing career, I've worked ICU, ER, trauma,
mm,
public health, school health nurse. So I have a very extensive nursing career, but I also have a youth background where I've worked with youth and I put programs into schools. And those youth ended up on television, the newspaper, and basically we were teaching them how to have healthy, whole lives and
mm,
have worked with at-risk youth. A lot of community work. My journey was interesting myself because I overcame a lot of challenges to get to where I am. And I had learning difficulties. I'm a cancer survivor. And I had to figure out and negotiate how do I thrive and get past these challenges. And not all of them are self-created. Some of them is just life just happens. In another group, they
mm.
say life be lifing. And
Yes.
so that's exactly what happened. And I had to figure out how do you thrive and still show up for work and still be whole and healthy? And that's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Mm,
And in doing so, I learned to help other people overcome those what seem like insurmountable challenges
mm.
and still be able to reach your goals and dreams. So that's just a little bit of my story and how Patience and I met and a little bit of my journey.
Mm. Yes, and there was a phrase when I first met you, you loved that phrase, and I think you do love it still. And I'm hoping that it will play a part in your journey when you talk about that unlikely success story, because you haven't really dug into the fact that you're at management level, leadership level, and you're somebody that maybe people might have thought it's unlikely that you'll ever do this. Um, and you've just kept pushing, breaking those boundaries, breaking those barriers, getting on with it, and never giving up, no matter how long it
Mhm,
takes. And I think that for me was like a tick in the box for someone
mhm.
who is highly driven, which I know you are, introverted, which I know you are, ambitious, and wanting to make an impact in the world as a leader, and not wanting to understand what those strengths are that you bring to the table, that could make a difference. So if you want to share maybe what it means to you to be an unlikely success story, what some of those strengths you have discovered as a result of, as we started working together, there were strengths you discovered along the way. What does that mean to you to be like that unlikely success story?
Well, actually, I do call myself an unlikely success story. As I was going back to school, I was the first person to graduate and go to college in my family. And again, all of that is with a learning disorder. And I
High
had to
five.
do things. I thrive. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And I did things like ride a 10-speed bicycle just to get to class, to a campus. And I was a single mom with a baby. So I had my baby on the back of the bike and riding to school. What I learned through a lot of these processes, and the reason I call myself an unlikely success story, was when I went to nursing school with the challenges that I had every single time I graduated to another level of nursing. I
Mm,
started out as an LPN, got my associates, got my bachelor's, and continued to advance my education. They would always say, "You know you shouldn't have made it, don't you?" And I would go, "Yes, I do. But yes, I did." And that's why I call myself an unlikely success story. I'm not a statistic. I'm a minority, single mom, with lower income. And if you look at the society statistics, you are not likely to make it to where I am,
mm,
which is a house supervisor in a major metropolitan hospital. So
wow.
upper leadership.
Mm,
And that's unlikely with the characteristics that I had. What what helped me to be successful? My faith is number one. And I don't leave my faith out, but my faith is really what helps sustain me. The
mm,
other thing is just a lot of tenacity. I had to have resilience. I had to have a don't quit attitude. I had to figure out that when I was kind of kicked down, how do you get back up? What mindset do
mm,
you need to have to make that happen? So I had to work a lot on my mindset, resilience, and then I did have to practice self-care because I had to learn how to still eat nutritious meals. How do you effectively deal with stress? And so those are the skills that I think I brought to the table with that, and just determination. And you
mm,
really have to have the mindset that no matter what, you're not going to give up. You need to be adaptable. You need to have the ability to pivot. You need to know when it's time to pivot,
mm,
what to hold on to, what to let go. And so I think all of those skills together is what really helped me succeed. And I was able to take that skill set and help other people who were on journeys in nursing school, didn't succeed the first time, wanted to give up,
mm,
not give up. And I can coach them through and help them either see it from a different perspective or have you tried that? And sometimes it was just to give them a pat on the back, hold their hand while they cry. And sometimes I had to give them a swift kick and be mean and say, no, you
mm,
can't do it. Get up and stop that crying.
mm,
But I have a lot of success stories, and I'm able to look and see all the people who were able to accomplish their goals because of that. And that is what warms my heart and just makes me excited. I love being part of other people's success stories.
mm. Yes, and what I like is the journey of being what you exactly said, because My company, for example, is called Aspire, Transform, Inspire. And it warms my heart for you to say that you want to be or you like being part of people's journey, because that multiplication effect is you came to me because you had aspirations, you wanted to develop those aspirations. And then the transformation I can see in you from when we first started together and how enthusiastic you are and how you no longer felt like that dream was far away. It's now real, even real, and you're living it every day to now inspire other people is that multiplication effect. So tell me a bit more about, or tell us a bit more about what was that thing that just made you say, I need to go work with patients to start building your business? What made you seek help?
I needed a little bit more clarification about my ideal client and how to best serve them. Like I was saying previously, I had a lot of interest and a lot of different people I wanted to help. And actually, in my private life, I was helping all of these folks accomplish their goals. And I needed to narrow my focus and niche a little bit because I was all over the place. And even initially, I was like, I'm gonna do this. And patients would say, she bring me back in, narrow the focus. And it's actually a little funny because I decided, well, no, I'm going to do this. And at the end of it all, I ended up right back at step one, where patients and I had worked. So
Hmm,
it just came full circle, but it helped me to gain clarity on what it is, who it is I really needed to serve and how to serve them. Also, being an introverted woman, I've had coaches before, but they were extroverts, true extroverts. And it was a little overwhelming for me. And so with patience, it was just the right amount of energy. It was enough to keep you up and going, but she understood what it was to be an introvert. And more importantly, she helped me to identify my strengths as an introvert
hmm,
and how to use and maximize those, not only in my personal life, but in my professional life. And I think that was one of the biggest benefits. I needed that because so many times introverts are silenced, or we hang in the background, or we just don't shine and let our gifts show. And so working with patients in her programs and one-to-one coaching really helped me release that and
hmm,
embrace my introversion and know, yes, it is a good thing and it is a strength. So I think that's the biggest takeaway I think was that in helping
hmm.
me get out.
Hmm. And I think it's what I learned from our journey together was that increasing level of belief in yourself, your
Mhm.
capabilities. I always say that brilliant women come to me when they're telling me their story. I'm sitting on the other side going, wow, how brilliant are you? But then I just realized that it's my job to help you see that brilliance, to help you be more like that second light, because there's already light coming from you. I can feel it, I can see it, but I just probably need to illuminate it, put the light
Mhm.
on, switch the lamp on. Because many people come to, I need to do more of this training, I need to do more of that training, and I'm thinking the things you already have, the experience you already have, nobody else has it, you know and I'm glad that we worked on you coming to that space of seeing yourself for who you are. And a lot of times people are looking for how to become an expert when they're already an expert. We had to dig through all those examples of where you have already been an expert, because you were, and for you to see it. And I'm so glad, I noticed that you bringing your expertise, and talking about, especially with the neuro encoding that you've done, you're sharing steps with people, because it's all about, we all know that our brain deceives us and many thoughts go in there. And I watched one of your videos recently where you were sharing steps that people, the stop process, the stop framework. And,
Mhm.
you know, of course, you already knew enough, But it's nice to know that through the process, you have added a lot more stuff to your toolkit that you can now
Mhm.
even use more. So tell us what's the plan for the future now that you have clarity, now that your business is kind of has that framework and you're going to be building it. What are your plans for the future now?
Well, my plans for the future include I will have a self course for nursing. And part of that journey is develop a course of work for them on self-care. But self-care is a little bit different than what most people realize. It's not just massages and a nap and that type of thing. It really is a lot that has to do with mindset. It has to do with nutrition, rest. It has to do with learning your body, how to stop those self-critical, those self-limiting thoughts and behaviors.
Mm,
One of the things patients did say was, I was just kind of all over the place and I had the expertise. I've been a nurse for over 30 years and have done a lot of outside clinical stuff. So I had the expertise, but I just didn't acknowledge it and move and step out on those expertise. So that's my plan for the future. I will develop a self course for nurses to help them with burnout and keep them from struggling with the burnout. In 2025, I will also launch self care retreats where they can just come, renew, and reflect. And those are my plans for the future. I will be teaching them techniques to help them deal with their stress in the moment and while they're on the job, physically on the job.
mm. And I remember, as part of the journey we had together, I was amazed that sometimes being in leadership position as well, in our conversations, you were stepping up to the plate to help people that right there and then where they were experiencing maybe like what you call a meltdown, because we all know that nursing and this area, this field, like you rightfully said, you have that expertise, you have that skill set. But not only that, you have a lived experience of having gone to the
Mhm.
extreme end with all the stress and everything else, and how you're managing that, and how you identify that and say, no more, I'm going to fight to, the helper needs to be helped, basically. There's so much, nursing is a caring profession, and falling into the trap of caring so much for other people
Mhm.
and neglecting yourself is something you found that was very common. So I'm glad that your plans for the future has all your expertise to bring in there to make a difference. And I'm glad that we were able to really narrow down and look at what are the problems you want to solve, what are the challenges you want to make sure that you can help people with, and who are the people that you want to serve. We were able to kind of bring that all together, but within yourself, having that belief. So I'm glad that you feel very optimistic about the future. You have a kind of what you call a success roadmap to get there, but you also know that you're going to do it step by step, level by level, stage by stage. So, what would you say to someone who is probably sitting on the fence thinking, I need help? I want to look at my business as an introvert to find an aligned success pathway, but I really don't know if patience is a fit for me or whether I can get the tools that I need to have the right business foundations, because that's what we've done. We've helped you have those right business foundations. What would you say to them?
I would say you owe it to yourself. You do. You owe it to yourself and your dreams and your goals to step out there. At least give yourself the opportunity to investigate and work with her. The tools that I have are second to none. She's very organized. She follows up. And she even, little extra things that I needed. She responded well if I had a problem or got stuck. And right now, I still go back and refer to all of those tools that she gave me.
Mm,
Wonderful resources in that toolkit that you can access, and they're yours forever. But more importantly, she helped me to be bold and step out and realize my dream. I deserve it. You deserve it. And she's excellent, excellent to work with. I didn't feel intimidated like I felt with some of my previous coaches, and it really shut me down.
Hmm.
But you owe it to yourself to at least look, especially if you are an introverted woman. This is the place for you to be, because she has demonstrated not just teach it, she's demonstrated. She's our example. She's those steps ahead of us where she can take us by the hand and lead and guide us to where we want to be. I do like the fact that she listens. We had one particular coaching session where she stopped and just let me kind of debrief and tell where I was because I was really struggling. And after that, I felt such a relief, but she really listened to what I was saying. And not many people really listen and hear you, but Patience did just that. So I'm just going to really encourage you. I don't think you'll be sorry. I'm not. And so I'm going to encourage you to step out there, realize that dream. And she was great to work with. And she will always be in my inner circle. And I know in the future, I will reconnect. I'll do another contract. What I'm doing now is working on the parts that she have given me to do. And I'm watching it bloom and blossom. And when I get to a certain part, guess what? I'll be calling Patience, I'm back. So it's time to renew, but I still continue to work with her, and she's been a joy and a part of my success story. So thank
Oh,
you,
thank
Patience.
you.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Yvonne. I appreciate that. And more so, I think the feeling is mutual because I always say, we say we are looking for a dream client, but we also have to be the
Mhm.
dream coach. And if you're a dream coach without a dream client, you will
Yes.
be living in a nightmare. So,
Yes.
and I remember that scenario very carefully where
Hmm.
sometimes you hit a roadblock on the coaching journey, especially when you're working one to one. You develop a kind of, I've got to be tough and I've got to push through and I've got to challenge, even though even though I know that there might be some emotional stuff. And it's like getting into the dirty work that needs to be done, because we can want to drag back into the past. Everyone does. But with
Hmm.
coaching, we know that it's all about looking forward. It's all about going forward. And
Hmm.
sometimes, because of the past, because of the trauma, because of the fear, you find a client is kind of like, I'm not going to do that moving. I'm not going. You're kind of like, how are we going to get them to the other side? And I guess now I look back and I think being patient and calling my being a patience by name has meant looking at things and going, let people grow and let people blossom in their own way. And
Yes.
so I want to thank you for coming on and on my on this show, which I it's kind of my opportunity to showcase what my clients are doing, what they're up to. And Yvonne is available for you if you want to talk about healthcare, burnout, and things to do with people in the healthcare profession, especially nurses. And if you're a nurse yourself and you think, I need somebody who has walked this journey to understand me and to coach me, by all means, get in touch with Yvonne. And if you think her story inspires you, you want to build your business, you want support from me, why not get in touch as well? So, we've had fun. We've shared our story with you. We've shared our journeys with you. Let me know what you think when you watch this video. Send me a DM, and let's get talking. Take care and God bless. Thank you,
Thank
Yvonne.
you. Thank you. Nice